What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today it is Japanese Tuesday, so that means I'm going to go over more decks that have topped over the weekend. So these are local events, so we know that they're not crazily climbing up into the metaverse here, but, you know, it's just Digimon. You're going to see some crazy jank decks and stuff like that, so I figured it would be kind of fun to cover these kind of janky decks today. So without further ado, let's dive into the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, shows support for the channel. Even comment and emoji will help promote the video up in the algorithm. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So first deck we're going to talk about is none other than this very interesting list. It is called Blitz Deck, or known as Shoutmon Blitz. So what's really interesting about this list is that it focuses on finding key pieces with, let's say, this Shoutmon here, so revealing the top 5 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon with Shoutmon in its name and 1 Digimon with Blitz among them to your hand. Place the rating cards at the bottom of the deck. While the Digimon has Blitz, it gets plus 2000 DP for your turn, boosting it up. But also Shoutmon here that has Blitz triggering draw 1 as well can lead to being some powerful maneuvers. So really interesting to see that they use the lower end Shoutmon to gain some momentum here. What's really nice about this Shoutmon here is on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon card and 1 card with Tamer, both with cross hearts in its traits among them to your hand. Place the rating cards at the bottom of the deck. I don't think it's on for its on play. I think it's in here for that rush factor. So giving this stack, let's say you hard played this, as long as you have enough memory, depending on the meta format calling, you could possibly get into Omni Shout here for 4, which is not bad because now it has Rush that can swing in. Then you could go into Blitz, you know, Shoutmon DX, or even go into Omni Shoutmon X Antibody with Blitz. Now this card can attack the same turn you just played it, leading into some very interesting shenanigans, I say. So what else can we pick up from here? Both Omni Shouts, while this Digimon in its name, this Digimon gains security +1. So as long as it's both these Omni Shouts, they'll give an extra security check. This one gives it for the Jesmon though. So Jesmon can play the Sistermons here that'll help you draw, get cards into the trash and everything like that. So very much useful as a way of just applying pressure even when your opponent's not ready. So I find this very interesting on how this deck is built. Maybe this can see further testing. This is actually very much playable once Bt, 11 hits, but this deck can lead to being some very interesting power dynamics. Just being able to blitz for your opponent passing turn and not caring that you didn't lose an attack can lead to being a faster play. So that's kind of just how this goes, I think. And then we do have the next deck is another red deck. Oh no, what is this theme? We're all red today. So we're going to look at it. Another OTK deck. We kind of know what Ancient Greymon does by gaining all these security checks and for every hybrid you have. So you build up in a big stack in the raising area and you can proceed to kill your opponent that way. Getting a bunch of security checks and just going in for lethal that way. Other things you have to take into account for is that it has an on deletion that lets it play itself, comboing with the new Yokomon, who is on deletion. If you have a red tamer in play, draw a card. So now if this goes pop, you instantly gain some free value out of it, while also building up with your Takuyas in the normal sense, because you'll build up there, set up everything that just got lost, put it all underneath Takuya. Then you can go right back into Ancient Greymon or Emperor Greymon, depending on the lineup. Major things you have to take into account is like Atomic Inferno. So one of your Digimon with hybrids gets plus 3000 DP and security +1. And then if it was blocked, gain 3 memory. That can lead to being some crazy power moves there. So most players aren't really ready for something like that. And it can get really surprising how fast this can lead to being a win in your situation, because all those security checks, if you can get through with just piercing and your opponent doesn't have a way of stopping that climb of this big beefy Digimon that might be 17, 18. Oh, I have to block this. Well, pierce right through it. It died by battle. If it doesn't have a battle protection, well, you lose the game there, because all of a sudden you just go into Blitz Omni to win the game. Or if it died even in the trade-off, you can just go right into Takuya, get yourself into a hybrid, probably go into Emperor Greymon with Blitz, ending the game there. And then really nice is when this Digimon is blocked, unsuspend this Digimon, gain 1 memory for each Digimon card with hybrid in its form in his Digi-Evolution cards. I love it. I find this very interesting. This list is very unique, and it still shows that Ancient Greymon has a place and home in a format that has Shoutmon still at power, and it still has, you know, Sunrise Buster at full strength, and, you know, it does have Calling from Darkness at full strength, but really Purple ain't really doing anything at the moment, so nothing to really fear at that point. But all in all, Red Hybrid still being able to take the W like this might be something to look at. Then finally, the last deck we're going to talk about is none other than Chaosdramon, aka Machinedramon. We know that this new Machinedramon was introduced into the set for on play. When Digimon will reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, add 1 analog man among them to your hand, and 1 card with machine or cyborg and traits among them to your hand and or bottom of the deck in bottom of this Digi-Evolution cards. Then trash the rest. So basically what you get to do is you get to put a machine underneath it or a cyborg, which from the hand or to the bottom of this Digi-Evolution source, which can lead to being some power plays. Depending on what you slam down, leads into some interesting stuff. But on deletion, return 1 analog man in play to the bottom of the owner's deck. You may play 1 Machinedramon from hand without paying its memory cost, which can lead to being even crazier, because if you go analog man, effect is really nasty. Because start a main phase by trashing 1 level 5 cyborg and its traits, gain 1 memory, draw a card. So this is always going to give you pluses in ways your opponent is not ready for, and they can't always stop analog man. And that gets ridiculous pretty quick, because as long as you have fuel, you're always plussing and you're filtering your deck, and you don't care if everything's in the trash because you're going to grab it later. So, opponent's turn, when your opponent's Digimon attacks a player, by suspending this tamer, you may switch the target of that attack to your level 6 Digimon with machine traits. So, as long as your Machinedramon is big and beefy, or has enough protection, you're not going to lose your Digimon anytime soon. So that makes it now a much struggle for the opponent to get around a big boss Digimon that can be redirected without having to waste a block on it or anything like that. It doesn't get rested or anything. So you get free value out of that while your opponent is now struggling to get in lethal because the Digimon has protection in it. So stuff like that's going to really push your opponent into weird situations, because especially with this Chaosdramon, you're going to de-digivolve your opponent's stuff. Well, 1 Digimon down by the number of sources you put in, but it can also digivolve on top of a Machinedramon for 1. Really nasty, but it also has a protection of its own by trashing 2 level 5 cards from this Digi-Evolution card, prevent its leaving play, return, or being deleted. Really huge. Then we have a Machinedramon that has yellow protection, basically minusing DP, gets you in there. Then we have a Metal Greymon with piercing effects. This one gives an extra security check from the Machinedramon. Then you have Machinedramon. This Digimon gets plus 2000 DP, but it's also treated as a black Digimon. Doesn't matter on that, but that 2000 DP on your turn really does matter. Then you have Rise Greymon. If you have a Tamer in play, your opponent Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. You have 3000 DP boost. Metal Tyrannomon is a new card here. So for each Digimon, for each green or black Tamer you have in place, suspend 1 of your opponent's Digimon. Then 1 of your opponent's suspended Digimon cannot unsuspend during their next unsuspend phase, locking them down really nastily. But all turns, when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, trash the top security card on your opponent's side. Wow, free value out of that, especially if the Machinedramon kills a body and that's a free trade. Not bad. Then you have Machinedramon here being able to delete Tamers, which does help out in some matchups. Metal Greymon being able to swing into Digimon bodies that are not as big as you want it to be, but being able to get them off the board really does help out. Then you have Machinedramon Blocker, just a big beefy blocker. Sometimes is all you need. Then you have Cyberdramon that has, if you have 2 or more black Tamers in play, 1 of your opponent's Digimon de-digivolves. Wow. Why is that not broken there? I'm just kidding. Being able to digivolve threats and then swing into them with, let's say, Metal Greymon, now it's not as big, and now you can get over it in most cases. So depending on your stack build up and everything like that, this can lead to being a really big pressure turn on your opponent. Then you have like Metal Mamamon, who's deletes a opponent's Digimon with a play cost 5 or less. Volcanomon, basically extra security check if your opponent has an unsuspended Digimon in play. Then you have Metal Tyranno, who gives reboot, so that gives you more value. Then you have Gigadramon, that's opponent's turn. This Digimon gets plus 2000 DP. More value even there. Using Mamamon here, so when you would play another Digimon by effect, one of your Digimon gains blocker until the end of opponent's turn. This is really not in here to be for you to put underneath. This card is actually because of its on play. On play, when Digivolve reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, you may play one Tamer card with a play cost 4 or less among them without paying its memory cost. Place the rating cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. What are you doing with that exactly? Well, you're trying to dig for Analog Man and get him in for free. So basically you get a 11 memory turn for 7. Not bad. That's not a bad trade-off, especially if they kill off Mamamon later. You get Analog Man on the board, so your opponent has to deal with that. Then we have new Gigadramon that has jamming, but also reboot. I mean, this gets crazy as we go on. And then you have Haguramon, basically for you may trash one card with Machine or Cyborg and Straits in your hand to draw 2. Not bad at all. And then Pagumon, just basically draw fodder. Going first and stuff like that. If you don't want to give them 3 right away, you can just go Pagu, DG, draw 1 card, and then maybe play an Analog Man or Analog Youth. But what really sets this deck ahead is because of the attack of the heavily mobile machines. This card is you may trash one Cyborg or Machine in its traits in your hand to have all your level 6 Digimon with machines in its traits gain Rush. And on play, if this Digimon has Digivolution cards, Blitz for the turn. This really is what made the deck be able to be viable, because being able to just, if you're just throwing down a body and it doesn't attack the same turn, might not do enough damage to your opponent. So this allowed it to be able to apply the pressure that it needed. And you may trash one Digimon card with Cyborg or Machine in its traits from your hand to delete one of your opponent's Digimon whose play cost is less than or equal to the trash card played. So, not bad being able to use this option in multiple ways. So guys, what did you think of Japanese Tuesday? Is this really exciting list that I showed you this week? Let me know down in the comments. And guys, remember, stay safe, stay healthy out there, and hopefully you guys know that the holidays are coming up, and hopefully you guys stay well. And guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace!